my question is, do you think that Indian universities do enough fundamental research? And if not, what's the problem? Why? I mean, a part of it you just said that it's the incentives, and I'm pretty sure. But then, what can be done to promote fundamental research? I mean, you just said that in China, Tsinghua and Peking, they are in the top 150 universities, but none of these Indian universities are there. Why not? And if we are not doing any fundamental research, then can we really move on to the next stage?
I think the talent is there. The question again, maybe as an economist, I'm biased in that direction. The question is one of incentive and
Right.
fund and funding. Incentive-wise, many good students will go to where the jobs are. So suppose you are, I know some such cases, a student who is very good in theoretical physics, but I have seen him ending up in engineering, because that's where the jobs are. Theoretical physics does not have jobs. Now, of course, not everybody can do research. Fundamental research, only a very small number. By nature, only a very small number of people can do fundamental research. But it's the reward and punishment system. If I see that, and this going back to my earlier answer, if I see somebody in my department is getting promoted without doing research, that really demoralizes me in my own research. Similarly, if I do good research, then is that rewarded? So it's both the positive and the negative incentive. Is that rewarded enough? In the United States, let me give the example of my department in Berkeley. It's a public university. It's not like a very rich private university like Harvard, Stanford, Princeton. It's a public university, money is short. In spite of that, what they do, every teacher gets reviewed after 2 years. Every 2 years, a teacher's performance is reviewed. So how many articles the teacher has, this professor has published in the front-ranking journals? How has he or she performed in teaching? As you are must be familiar, the students give us grades, how good a teacher I am. And that goes in my file. So come my promotion time, not merely they look at how many articles I have published in the top journals, they also look at what grade the students have given me. So those are put in, an extensive review goes on every 2 years. So I know that if I do research, publish in good journals and teach well, I will get a reward, because then after the review, I will get promoted. So even within the same rank, say a full professor, every few years he or she is being reviewed, and if they succeed, the salary will go up. We don't have that system in India by and large. We have a given salary scale. There is sometimes in the promotion, the publications matter, but not this constant review, and certainly teaching. How good I am a teacher is not quite often in India counts in promotion or even salary. So those things I think are extremely important in terms of incentives. The other thing, let me point out, and this is something very sad. In fact, in my China-India book, I think there is a graph showing this. 1990, if you take science and technology subjects and take the top journals in the world, how many articles in the top science and technology journals by resident Indians? You can count them, and you put 1990, 1991, you can do a graph. I'm talking about resident, not outside India.
Right.
Similarly, you can do it for China. So this has been done, and you will see this graph in my book. So 1990, India was above China. So the number of articles published by resident Indian scientists and technologists larger than in China. But then, within 2, 3, 4 years since then, the Chinese graph just goes vertical. And India's graph goes up, but very slowly. So within 10 years, China is much beyond in research technology publications. This is partly a matter of resources. China spends a lot more resources in research and development. In fact, I can tell you the number. China spends now about 1.6% of national income, of GDP, gross domestic product, in R&D, research and development. India spends about half of that. So China spending, China's national income, of course, is now 3 times India's. So, but even if you of that, the proportion is twice as much. So you can see how much the spend is 6 times how much we spend. So money in labs, money in equipment, money in research grants, those matter. And certainly that shows that China is giving a lot more emphasis on fundamental research. And I think gradually this is something that, again, I think there is already an effort in India. A lot of people I know, scientists I know, who are very aware of this problem and trying to change the incentives in that direction. So far it has not worked, but I hope it will work in the near future.